Hi everybody, Don Giannetti. A couple of things I want to share with you. One, I got a haircut. Number two, my cool shirt. That's right, drums. Because hitting people gets you in trouble. I mean, it really will. I know this. I read it on Google. Anyway, thought today we'd talk a little bit about what I call the last 10%. The last 10% of any endeavor is where the excellence is found, the last 10%. It really boils down to how easy it is to get to 60% or 70%. There's a lot of people out there operating at 70%. Nothing wrong with that. If they're happy and their goals are being met, certainly nothing wrong with that at all. But if you want to achieve excellence, you're going to have to go a little higher. And that's going to be up above 90%. When most people are doing as little as they possibly can to get by, and you do more than you needed to do to get by, you set yourself apart. Instantly, you're not in that group anymore. If you push a little harder, you take a little bit more time, you deliver a little bit better product, you help somebody beyond just superficially, you've delivered more, and you're going to probably benefit from that and reward yourself from that in ways you can't even imagine, because most people don't go there. The 80 to 90%, those are the really good people, good photographers, good designers, good whatever, but they're not world class. Getting to 80% is hard. Getting to 50% is pretty, you know what, you can tell a 50% photographer. They say things like, just fix it in Lightroom. A 50% photographer says, yeah, I know I need some lights, but they're back in the car and I don't want to walk back and get them. A 50% photographer says, well, I'll just shoot it in natural light and fix it later. That's a 50% photographer. In other words, pretty much anybody, right? If you can hold a camera up and take a picture, you can miss the exposure by 2 stops and fix it in Lightroom. You can just screw it up. You can make a bad composition and fix it in Lightroom. You can make a photograph of something and clone in something that another photographer did, maybe Mary Ellen Mark. Or, well, no, don't do that. Not a good plan. You can do a whole lot of things at 50%. You can bullshit your way to 60% pretty easy. 60%, got a better camera, spend more money on gear, talk a lot about yourself and what you do and how cool you are. You can bullshit your way up to 60% pretty quick. From 60 to 80, things get pretty tough. And 80% photographers busted their ass to get there. They're working, they've got steady clients, they're happy. They're people you may not even know. They're maybe not famous. They're, work-a-day photographers. I know several here in Phoenix. I'll just say I was never famous. I'm never going to be famous. I'm going to be almost famous. I guess. I don't know. You never, people that you've never heard of. I know we've got some Project 52 people that you probably haven't heard of. They don't have big social followings, but they're working every day, making photographs, keeping their business alive. It happens. There's a lot of people there. Between 80 and 90, lots of growth, lots of risk, lots of investment, both time, money, other assets to get to that 90%. I'm going to show you just a quick kind of view of what I'm talking about. I just checked the recent downhill statistics for a skiing downhill race that they had, I think in New Zealand or somewhere, but the downhill racers are all, they race all year. So they're down in the other side of my side of the world, down where it's winter. And the and I'm not going to pronounce the last names because I'm not sure I can. But Andre came in at 1 minute 27.97 seconds. 1 minute 27.97 seconds. The second person came down, number 2, second best in the world, or at this race, was Felix. He was 1:28.11, less than a second. Or was that, oh, little more than a second. Little more than a second. The guy who came in 5th place. Do you ever remember the guy who comes in 5th place? 5th place that's the heartbreak. You know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you got the medals, and you know, 4th place is like, you get some flowers and whatever. Guy comes in 5th place. He gets a T-shirt. He skied it in 1 minute 28.4. In other words, really not very far off everybody else. We're talking hundredths of a second. But the surprising thing is, well, not surprising to me because I know how this works, is the guy that came in dead last came in at 1 minute 35.11. In other words, 8 seconds out of a race that went 87 seconds. That's right at about 10%. This guy, you know how long it'd take me to get that down that mountain? It would be 1 hour, 27 minutes, 97 or 47 seconds. So, I mean, that's the way it works. 10% got to that last little point. 10% photographers, you know, they can always justify it by saying one of the worst things I've ever heard any artist say is that they're not paying me enough to fill in the blanks, to do a good job, to do a great job. You want to get up in the 80%? If you're in the 80%, you want to get into the 90%, it's really, really hard, but I'll give you a key. Over-deliver. Give them more than they ask for. Treat every job you do as though it were a $10,000 job. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how boring it is. Treat it like it's a $10,000 job. Deliver it with the pride of a $10,000 job. And you'll have clients wanting to thank you and appreciating very much what you do. But when you say the words, they're not paying me enough to do a great job, I want to slap you right across the face, because they are. They're paying you what you agreed to be paid. Every job you do is 100%. If you agree to do it for $200 and it's a $1,000 job, then you do a $1,000 job for $200. That was your agreement. If you don't want to do it for $200, there's this magic word. It's awesome. Awesome. No. It's not enough money. Can't do it. You turn around and walk away. If you can't walk away, you're not dealing, you're negotiating. And if you're negotiating based on the fact that you're going to deliver to them a $1,000 job for $200 or a $10,000 job for $500. If that's what you agreed to, that's a negotiation. The terms of you doing an excellent job, those are already on the table. Those are already set, because that's what we do, is an awesome job. Let's treat every job like it's a $100,000 job. Go the extra mile. Deliver something more. Spend the time to pack the car with extra fill cards, extra stands, extra batteries and flashes. Don't do a half-assed job because your stuff's in the car and you didn't want to go back and get it. Don't do a half-assed job because you're bored or you think somebody owes you something or whatever. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Treat every job like a $10,000 job. Rock it. Make it the best you can and move on to the next job where you can set a deal or negotiate. Your terms, always the best work for whatever you decide to shoot it for. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.